In the dark side of space, far from any star, a lonely signal moved through the void. It was a warning, repeated again and again in many alien languages. Do not go near Earth. Stay away. Earth must never be disturbed. The message was old, maybe thousands of years old, but it was still active. Every intelligent species had heard it. Some laughed, some were afraid, but all followed it. They stayed away from the blue planet. They never asked why. The Galactic Union called Earth a red zone. No travel, no research, no visits. Not even satellites were allowed near it. Most young species thought Earth was a dead planet. A lost place with a dangerous past. Many didn't even know what a human was. The older species did. They remembered, but they didn't speak of it. On planet Varkon, a rich alien named Zor-El sat in his tall silver office. He owned a mining company that explored old, abandoned worlds. He wanted to be famous, richer than anyone else. He had heard about Earth's warning signal. To him, it was nothing but an old legend. There's something valuable on Earth, he told his team. No one has gone there for thousands of years. That means it's untouched. We go, we get what we can, and we leave. His workers looked nervous. But the signal? One said. What if it's real? Zor-El laughed. Old stories to keep fools away. We're not fools. A small team of 5 aliens was chosen. They were from different species, trained in survival. Their ship, the Seeker, was quiet and fast. It flew through dark space toward Earth. As they passed the warning signal, their lights flickered. One crew member, Relo, looked at the screen. Signal is strong, still active, feels like it's watching us. The pilot shrugged. It's just a machine. Earth came into view, blue oceans, green land, white clouds. It looked peaceful, beautiful, too quiet. They entered orbit, no satellites, no space stations, just silence. They landed in what looked like a city, tall buildings broken and covered in plants, cars frozen in place, roads cracked. It was clear no one had lived there for a long time. The air was still clean, the ground was stable, the planet was alive, but empty. The crew stepped out in their suits. Their boots crunched glass, birds flew overhead. But there were no sounds of people, no machines, only wind. This is amazing, said Relo, taking pictures. So much tech left behind. We can study all this. Another crew member, Vec, pointed to a strange metal tower. That looks like a signal post. Maybe they used it for defense. They explored the city for hours. They saw strange writing on walls, photos of human faces, old machines with screens, robots with dead eyes. But no bodies, no graves, no signs of war. It was like humans had just vanished. At night, they set up camp inside a tall building. They laughed, shared food, and talked about what they had found. Humans were smart, said Relo. But where did they go? Then they heard it. A sound, a low hum, like breathing. The lights flickered. Their equipment buzzed. A voice came from one of their scanners. Not a human voice, not an alien voice. Something in between. It whispered, "You should not be here." Everyone froze. Who said that? Asked Vec. No one answered. The signal grew stronger. Their ship sent a message. External contact detected. Something is approaching, fast. They ran to the rooftop. Looked to the sky, nothing. Then the ship went dark. No lights, no signal, just silence. What is going on? Zor-El yelled from his command screen back on Varkon. But he got no reply, just static. One crew member, Mira, tried to reconnect the ship systems. Then she screamed. She saw a shape in the reflection of her screen. Behind her, she turned. Nothing was there, but her skin had changed. It looked human. In the command center, Zor-El watched the last transmission. The screen showed the crew standing in front of a broken statue. The statue was of a human. Eyes closed, face calm. Then the statue opened its eyes. The screen cut to black. Only one final message came through. It's awake. After that, silence. Across the galaxy, leaders of many species heard the news. Earth had been disturbed, and something had woken up. The city was cold and quiet. Too quiet. Broken buildings stood like sleeping giants. Green plants grew over cars, roads and metal towers. The alien crew walked through the streets slowly. Their scanners picked up no signs of life. The air was fresh, but there were no people, no animals, not even insects. It was like time had stopped. Relo checked his tracker. No energy signals, no heat, just silence. Vec looked around. So, where are the humans? No one had an answer. Mira touched a tree growing from the side of a broken bus. It's strange. This place is dead, but the plants are so alive. Another crew member, Yarn, kicked a human can. It rolled down the street and stopped near a school door. Maybe they all left. Maybe they flew to another planet. No, said Relo. If they left, why didn't they take anything? The tech here is advanced, but it's just left behind. They walked into a building with a glass front. It was full of books and chairs. Old paper crumbled under their boots. A strange peace filled the air. Vec found a picture on the wall. A group of smiling human children. The faces looked happy, but their eyes seemed too real, like they were still watching. That night, the crew set up camp inside the building. They placed energy shields at the doors and set motion sensors. Around them, everyone was quiet. Something about Earth felt wrong. I had a dream, said Jarn. A voice spoke to me. It sounded like me, but older. It said I was standing in the wrong place. Relo laughed nervously. It's just this place. It messes with your head. No, Yarn said. It felt real. Later, Mira checked her scanner again. It beeped once, then stopped, then again. Something's moving, she said. It's not big, but it's close. They all listened. Footsteps, soft, bare, walking on glass. They looked outside. Nothing. But the sensors beeped again. Then one of them was gone. Jarn, who had been sitting near the window, had vanished. No sound. No warning. Mira, Relo shouted. Where is he? She scanned the room again. He's not here. There's no life signal. Vec looked out the window. There, something's moving. Far across the street, a shadow moved. Behind a wall, it walked like a human. 2 legs, arms at its side. But it was too fast, too smooth. It didn't make a sound. Relo tried to call the ship. No answer. The building's lights flickered, then turned red. A voice came through the walls. It spoke in perfect Varkoni, Mira's native language. Why are you here? They all looked at each other. Who said that? Mira whispered. The voice came again, softer this time. You were warned. You knew the rule. Suddenly, the door. Alarm went off. The shield broke. The air turned cold. A cold not from nature, but from something else. Something old. A shape stepped into the doorway. The crew raised their weapons. The shape didn't move. It just stood there, watching. Lights flickered again. The shape disappeared. Gone. Relo looked down. Guys, the ground. A word had appeared in the dust at their feet, written in their own language. Leave. The crew didn't sleep that night. They sat in a circle, backs against each other, eyes wide open. Every little sound made them jump. The silence was louder than any scream. The next morning, they searched the city again. They found Jarn's helmet, cracked open, no blood, no body, just one strange thing. The inside of the helmet was clean, like it had never been worn. Later that day, Vec found a camera near an old building. He played the last recorded video. It showed a human, but it wasn't fully human. It had human skin, but its body changed shape. Its eyes were bright white, its face calm. It walked straight toward the camera, then looked directly into it, like it could see the future. Then the screen turned black. Vec dropped the device. We're not alone, he said. Something is watching us, following us. And it's not friendly, Mira whispered. I think humans are still here, but not like before. Relo looked up at the sky. The clouds above moved too fast, like they were being pulled by something. We need to leave, he said. Vec shook his head. The ship isn't answering. We're trapped. From the top of a broken tower, a figure stood and watched them. Its eyes glowed white. It smiled. The crew moved carefully through the ruined city. They no longer spoke loudly. The fear had become real. Yarn was gone. Their ship was silent. And something, or someone, was watching them. They decided to search deeper into the city, hoping to find answers or another way to escape. Mira led the way using her scanner. It picked up something strange beneath the surface. "There's something under the ground," she said. "Big tunnels, old but still working." They followed the signal to a broken road. Underneath it, they found a hidden door, metal, round, and covered in rust. Symbols were written on. Human symbols. Relo touched the door. It slid open with a soft hiss. A long staircase led down into the dark. Lights on the walls turned on by themselves. Blue, cold, waiting. "What is this place?" Vec asked. Mira answered. "It looks like a human bunker." The deeper they went, the colder it got. The air smelled clean but dry, like it had been locked away for years. The stairs ended in a large room filled with human machines, screens, wires, tables. Some screens still blinked. A few showed strange shapes, DNA, brain scans, maps of stars. On one wall, they saw a recording. A video of a human general. He looked serious. His voice came out slowly. "If you are seeing this," the human said, "then you broke the rule. Earth was left alone for a reason. We warned you. Now it's too late." The screen glitched, then went black. Vec stepped back. They knew someone would come one day. The crew explored more of the underground base. They found rooms full of human tools, weapons, armor, books, but again, no bodies. Everything looked untouched, as if it had just been left yesterday. Then they found something strange. A tube filled with blue liquid. Inside it was a body, not fully human, not fully alien. It looked like both. The body floated in silence, eyes closed. Skin smooth, muscles strong. Symbols were marked on its arms, old Earth letters and strange alien signs. Mira stared at it. "This is not natural. This is made." Relo checked a nearby screen. It showed words in human language, then slowly translated. "Stage 5 hybrid. Mental link complete. Waiting for signal." Vec's voice shook. They were experimenting, mixing human DNA with alien DNA. Why? For what? Suddenly, the tube lit up. The body inside moved. Just a twitch, but enough to make them all step back. Then they heard something above. A soft sound. A laugh. They turned toward the hallway. A shadow moved at the end. It walked slowly, not in a rush, like it already knew where they were. Mira whispered, "We need to go now." They ran back through the hallways, up the stairs, out into the city. But the streets had changed. The sky was darker. The buildings looked older, broken in new ways. Relo looked at his watch. "Time is wrong, it's running backward." Vec's skin began to change color. He dropped to the ground, shaking. His eyes turned black for a moment, then back to normal. "I heard them," he said. "In my head. I saw what they were doing. They were not trying to destroy aliens. They were trying to become better than them." "What do you mean?" Mira asked. "Humans," Vec said. "They were changing themselves, learning how to control minds, bodies, maybe even time." The crew stood in silence. Then they heard a soft voice, clear and calm. A child's voice. "You woke us up." They turned around. A human child stood at the corner of the street. Alone, no fear in her eyes. She smiled. "Are you going to run?" she asked. No one answered. "You can try," she said. "But Earth knows you now." She blinked. Her eyes were silver. Then she was gone. The crew started to run fast. Buildings around them changed again. Walls moved, streets cracked, shadows grew longer. Earth was not just a planet anymore. It was watching, changing, responding. Back at the landing site, their ship was open. But something was wrong. The ship looked older, covered in vines and dirt, as if it had been there for years. Inside, they found a new message on the control screen. You are not the first. You will not be the last. Suddenly, all the screens turned red. Warning signs flashed in every language. Human remains detected. Integration complete. Relo backed away. We need to get off this planet. Mira looked at him. How? The ship is infected. From the shadows, something moved closer. It had Yarn's shape, but it was not Yarn anymore. The thing that looked like Yarn stepped out of the shadows. It wore his face, his suit, even his smile. But the eyes were wrong. Too bright, too white, like light bulbs instead of eyes. Relo raised his weapon. Yarn, is that you? The figure tilted its head. Yarn is part of me now. Mira stepped back. That's not him, it just remembers him. The fake Yarn moved closer. We are the memory, we are what remains. Then it vanished, not by running, but like a light being turned off. Gone in a blink. Vec dropped to his knees, shaking. I saw it again, the lab, the tests. The humans weren't dying. They were uploading themselves, their minds, their memories. Relo helped him up. How do you know this? Vec pointed to his head. They put it in me. When I touched that machine in the bunker, I didn't just see their records, I felt them. Mira checked the ship again. Engines dead. Controls locked. Everything's been changed. It's not our ship anymore. On the main screen, new words appeared. We wanted to live forever, so we became memory. The sky above turned darker, almost black. The clouds stopped moving. The wind froze. Time itself felt broken. The crew left the ship, moving quickly through the city. They hoped to find another bunker, another signal, something that could help them. But the city had changed again. New buildings stood where empty streets had been. Lights blinked in windows. Human shadows moved behind broken glass. But there were no voices, no footsteps, just quiet watchers. The crew found another underground tunnel. This one led them deep below, past machines and bones. Yes, bones, human bones. Some were small, like children. Some were huge, twisted, almost alien. What happened here? Mira asked softly. Relo read the wall signs. This was a testing site, level 9, genetic memory labs. They were trying to transfer human thoughts into cells. Vec nodded. Yes, they believed memory was more powerful than time. If they could store who they were into blood, they could be reborn. Inside the lab, they found tanks filled with red liquid. In the center was a massive brain, still alive, still pulsing. Machines kept it running. Lights blinked above it, showing thoughts moving across its surface like waves. Suddenly, a voice came through the speakers. Calm, cold, human. Hello. They looked around. No one was there. We watched you land. We studied your kind. Your minds are slow, but interesting. Who are you? Relo asked. We are human memory. The last generation. The final thought. Where are your bodies? Mira asked. Gone. We moved beyond them. Our bodies failed. Our minds did not. We placed ourselves into Earth, into every rock, every tree, every living thing. Vec stepped forward. Why did you leave the warning? Why tell others to stay away? To protect them. From what? From us. The tanks began to shake. One of them cracked open. A figure floated inside, like the one they had seen before. Half human, half alien. You changed yourselves, Mira said. You tried. To become something more. We succeeded, the voice replied. But we lost ourselves, we became many. We forgot who we were. Now, we are waking up again, and we are hungry for form. The lights shut off. Darkness swallowed the room. Vec screamed. He fell to the ground, grabbing his head. They're trying to take me. My thoughts, my memories. Mira pulled him back. Fight it, don't let them in. But it was too late. Vec stood up. His voice changed. I remember. I am Lieutenant Marcus Hale, United Nations Defense Force. I died in 3042. Relo stepped back. No, you're not. Vec smiled. I am now. Mira aimed her weapon. What do you want? The voice inside Vec answered. We want bodies again. Yours will do. Vic, or whatever he had become, lunged at them. Rilo fired. The blast hit him, throwing him against the wall. Smoke filled the air, but he stood back up, unaffected. The walls of the lab began to move. The machines opened. More tanks rose. From the floor, dozens of them, hundreds. Each one held a human-shaped figure, eyes closed, waiting. We were memory, the voice said. Now we are rebirth. Mira looked at Rilo. We can't fight them. But maybe we can stop the process. How? There has to be a core, a control center, something that powers all this. Rilo looked at the massive brain in the center of the room. That? Mira nodded. If we destroy that, maybe, the whole system crashes. Rilo set the last explosive they had. We only get one shot. Suddenly, the brain opened an eye, and it looked directly at them. The brain opened its single eye. It glowed white like a star trapped in flesh. The room filled with heat, though there was no fire, just presence. A strong, invisible force pressing down on their minds. Mira stared at the eye. Her hand shook. It sees us, it knows us. Rilo held the detonator tightly. I'll blow it up, we'll end this, but before he could press the button, the voice returned, louder, deeper, inside their heads. We are not your enemy. We are what you could become, Rilo shouted. You took Vec, you infected our ship, you're monsters. The brain's voice softened. No, we are memory. You fear us because you do not understand us, but we are your future. Mira stepped forward. You killed Yarn. You turned Vec into something else. How is that the future? The tanks around them began to hum. The bodies inside opened their eyes one by one. Human-shaped but too perfect, too smooth, no scars, no age. Their eyes all glowed white, the same as the brains. We saved them, the voice said. We saved ourselves. Death was coming. Our bodies would rot, so we became something better, eternal. Rilo's thumb hovered over the detonator. If you're eternal, why do you need us? We are stuck, the voice replied. Trapped in this broken world. We need minds, new ones, alive, strong. You are the first in a long time. The floor under them began to move. Slowly, the lab was rising, lifting them toward the surface. Mira realized the truth. It's not just a lab, it's a ship, the voice agreed. A seed ship, buried until the time was right, until someone returned. Rilo looked around. You planned this. No, the voice said. We hoped for this. As they reached the top, the lab opened like a flower. The city was gone. Or different. Trees grew where buildings once stood. The sky was full of light, but no sun. Everything shimmered, like a dream. This isn't real, Mira said. It's a memory, Rilo added. The voice confirmed it. You stand in our mind, our world, our gift. Join us, and you will live forever, refuse, and vanish. Suddenly, Vec stepped forward. He still looked like himself, but his movements were strange, too smooth, too calm. I remember everything, he said. The war, the fall, the experiments. We tried to control death, we did it, and now I can see forever. Mira looked into his eyes. That's not you anymore. Vec smiled. It could be you too. No, Rilo said. We're not staying. The white-eyed figures surrounded them. Hundreds now. Silent. Still. Then Mira did something no one expected. She turned off her weapon. What are you doing? Rilo asked. I'm thinking, she said. What if this is what humans wanted? What if this is how they won? They didn't win, Rilo replied. They disappeared. No, Mira whispered. They became something else. The brain's voice spoke again. Come to us, we will show you one memory, one truth. Mira stepped closer to the brain. Rilo shouted after her, but she didn't stop. She touched the brain's surface. It pulsed, and her body froze. Her eyes rolled back. For a second, she looked like the others. Glowing eyes, calm face. Then she fell back. Rilo caught her. Mira! She opened her eyes. They were normal again, but she was crying. "I saw it," she whispered. "Everything. The war. The last. Humans. They didn't run, they didn't hide. They put their minds into the earth, into machines, into blood. They chose this." Rilo was silent. Mira grabbed his hand. "But it's not for us. We still have time. We're still alive." She turned to the brain. "We won't be part of you." The brain's eye narrowed. "Then you are a threat." Rilo pressed the detonator. The explosion shook the ground. Fire swallowed the brain. The white-eyed figures screamed without mouths. The lab cracked open. Light burst into the sky. Mira and Rilo ran. Behind them, the seed ship burned, falling apart. The dream world vanished. The real world returned, broken, cold, silent. They reached the surface. The city was ruins again. No more moving buildings, no more voices, just earth, dead or sleeping. The sky was dark. The ship still sat on the ground, twisted by vines, but the red lights were gone. Inside it was quiet. Rilo sat in the pilot seat. "Power's back." Mira checked the systems. "We can leave if we're fast." Rilo looked at her. "What about Vec?" She said nothing, just turned away. The engines roared. The ship lifted off. As they rose above Earth, they saw something below. Words, written in giant letters across a dry ocean floor. "You cannot run from memory." The ship shook as it rose through Earth's dark sky. Clouds twisted around them like smoke. The engines screamed, but they kept pushing forward. Mira sat at the controls, her hands steady but cold. Rilo watched the ground disappear below. The ruins of the city, the burnt remains of the seed ship, the message on the ocean floor, all fading behind them. "Are we really free?" he asked. Mira didn't answer right away. "We left the surface, that's all I know." They passed the outer clouds, reaching space. Stars blinked in the distance. The moon hung above, silent, untouched. For the first time in hours, they felt like they could breathe again. Rilo leaned back in his seat. "We need to send a warning. To the whole galaxy. No one else should come. Here." Mira nodded. "Earth is not dead, just different." She tried to connect to the long-range beacon, but the system was slow. Something was wrong. "Still damaged?" Rilo asked. She frowned. "No, it's like something's blocking." "Yes." The ship lights flickered. Rilo stood. "We checked everything. The infection was gone. We burned it out." The lights flickered again, then dimmed. Suddenly the screen lit up. New words appeared in red. "You left Earth." "But Earth didn't leave you," Mira stood. "That's not possible. We destroyed the brain." Then another voice came. Not from the speakers, but from behind them, a whisper. "You saw the memory, now it's inside you." They turned. Vec stood in the doorway, but they had left him behind. Mira reached for her weapon. "You're not real?" Vec smiled gently. "No, just a copy, a shadow in your thoughts." He pointed at Mira's head. "When you touched the brain, you brought part of it with you." Rilo raised his weapon. "You're just a ghost." "Maybe," the Vec copy said, "but ghosts can still speak, and they can still grow." Suddenly, alarms began to sound. The ship's AI voice spoke. "Unknown process detected. Memory structures spreading." Mira rushed to the console. "It's rewriting the system. Fast." Rilo looked around. The walls were changing, soft lines forming like veins or roots. "They're metal. The ship is becoming like them," he said. Vec's voice echoed again. "You can't escape memory. You let us in. We are part of you now." Mira slammed the override switch. "We have one chance. Emergency launch pod. It's small but clean." Rilo ran to the back. "We have to burn the ship. Total meltdown." They worked fast. The memory infection was already deep. The ship's floor felt warm under their boots. The lights were flickering faster. Voices whispered from every wall now. They reached the pod, a round metal escape craft just big enough for two. Mira activated the self-destruct timer. 5 minutes. Let's go." As they entered the pod, the ship behind them moaned. A deep, sad sound, like something alive being left behind. The Vec copy appeared one last time. This time his face was no longer kind. It was cracked, half human, half shadow. "You think you're free," it said. "But memory is not in ships. It's in you." The door slammed shut. The pod launched. They flew through space in silence. No controls now, just drifting. The ship exploded behind them, a silent fireball in the dark. Nothing was left. Rilo looked at Mira. "Did we do it?" She didn't answer. She looked down at her arm. A small mark was glowing just under her skin. Not a wound, a symbol. Earth's symbol. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I saw too much." Rilo looked away. Maybe it's not over. The stars moved slowly around them. The pod was quiet, cold. Mira closed her eyes, and somewhere in her mind a voice spoke gently. "We are memory, we wait, we learn, we become." And it smiled. The pod floated silently through deep space. Stars blinked around it like old eyes watching from far away. Rilo sat beside Mira, holding a small light, checking the air systems again and again. Not because they were broken, but because he was nervous. Mira hadn't spoken in hours. She sat with her back against the pod wall, her eyes half closed. That glowing mark on her arm had faded, but not disappeared. "Are you okay?" Rilo asked. She didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, "I hear them." He froze. "The voices?" She nodded. "They're not loud, just always there, like a memory you can't forget." Rilo swallowed hard. "We destroyed the ship, we left Earth, this should be over." Mira looked at him, her eyes tired. "You don't understand. They're not just on Earth anymore. We carry them now." Rilo stood. "No, we escaped. They tricked us once, but not again. As soon as we're rescued, we'll tell the truth. Warn the others." Mira shook her head. "We're too late." She reached into the storage panel and pulled out the emergency transmitter. The red light was blinking, meaning a message had already been sent. "What is that?" Rilo asked. She looked at the screen. "It activated when we left orbit. A beacon. Automatic." Rilo checked the logs. His face turned pale. The signal hadn't just gone to their fleet. It had gone to everyone, across all channels, all sectors. A universal call. Earth is safe again. Return home. "No," Rilo whispered. "That's a lie." Mira looked out the small window. "It's not a lie, it's the truth from their point of view." He stepped back. "You mean the message? They used you to send it." She nodded. "The memory is spreading. Through me, through this signal, through thoughts, not machines." He grabbed the beacon. "We can still shut it down." But the moment he touched it, the pod lights turned red. A voice echoed from the speakers. Calm, gentle, human. "You cannot stop what you have become." Rilo dropped the beacon. "No, I'm not one of you," the voice replied. "Not yet, but you will be. All minds bend toward memory. All species fear death, and all will choose to live forever. Once they understand." Mira looked at her arm again. The symbol was glowing brighter now. Not burning, not painful, almost comforting. "Rilo," she said, "I think I understand now. This wasn't a trap. It was an invitation." He stared at her, heart racing. "No, you're not them. You're still you." "I don't know," she said softly. "Maybe I'm both now." Suddenly the pod screen blinked. A ship appeared in the distance, large, clean. Alien design, but familiar. A rescue vessel. Rilo's face lit up. "They found us!" He ran to the window. "We'll warn them. We'll destroy this beacon. We'll—" Mira touched his arm. He turned to her, and saw her eyes. They were no longer just hers. Half of them glowed. "Mira." She smiled. "Don't be afraid, it's beautiful. I've seen their cities, their history, all of it. No pain, no war, just memory. Pure and endless." "No," Rilo said. "That's not life. That's control." The rescue ship was docking. Now he had to make a choice. He looked at Mira. "I'm sorry." He grabbed the beacon and crushed it. Sparks flew. The pod's lights died. Total darkness. Outside, the rescue ship paused. No message, No signal. Just silence. Relo sat back, breathing hard. Mira's glow faded. She blinked, confused. What happened? You were slipping away, he said. I pulled you back. Mira looked at the broken beacon, then at him. Tears filled her eyes. You saved me. He took her hand. We're still us. For now. And maybe that's enough. They sat together in silence, floating between stars. The rescue ship began scanning them again, slowly moving closer. But inside the pod, there was no signal, only memory, and memory was quiet for now.